Yeah, alright guys, this is the famous interval roundabout. I'm out just to see the beauty of the night here in Asaba, where things is actually happen. This is just the January 4th of the year. Everywhere is coming and it's lightening up, hoping that life will soon normalize for as many that travel to the village to come and join us. Yeah, it's once again your boy Organic. Stay tuned to my channel Instagram and Instagram to see the wonderful things happening always. Stay tuned. Hello viewer, today in my video I want to explain to you the necessary tools which everyone that owns a generator set should have at home. So first of all, if you are having a generator, you need a funnel. You need a oil funnel. Use this funnel to change your oil. So this is a must for you. If you have a generator, you need oil funnel at home. You need this plug spinner. You need to have a plug spinner. You need a screwdriver. This screwdriver has different mat, flat and whatever. When you push this one, you bring out this point. So you have star, flat, my different one. When you push it to bring it, you put it here. So you need a screwdriver. You need this 10 flat or ring. You need it. That one will go towards opening of under tank or carburetor. You need Y spinner. We have 10, 12 and 8 at home. This one too is another Y spinner, but it comprises of 6, 7, 8 depending on the bolt you have. Then you need this cutter for cleaning of your plug. Let me keep this one aside. You want to clean your plug, you brush it like this. So that is what every individual who has a generator that needed. You need this at home. Then you equally need plier. You need this at home. Then if you don't have this cutter, you can use this wire in cleaning of your plug. So these are the major things that anybody who has a generator at home should have. You need these appliances, plier and Y spinner and cutter for cleaning of your plug, and this 10 flat ring, and this screwdriver and the plug remover and oil funnel. So it's a must if you have a generator at home. It's not everything that happened to your gen that you go and call engineer. There are things you can do on your own. Now for general use, now as I am engineer, hello viewer, in this video I want to teach you how you can repair Tiger Gen on the comfort of your home or in your office as an engineer. In this place I have just cleaned the up of the tank. Maybe dirty or oil was on it where the owner packed it. So I'm losing the tank now. I could have started first to check what is the problem, but there was no fuel in the tank. So that is the reason why I'm losing the tank, to get it out of the way. Because I normally start the gen to check if it will start. So I'm removing the fuel tap. I'm using the screwdriver. So I've removed the tank. So I'm adding fuel to the carburetor. I have on it. So the generator have started. I'm just checking if the gen can start and what is the problem, because the owner complained that he cannot carry load, that I should service it. So I'm now removing the plug. There is something to note in this service that I did here. I did not remove the top, the block and the piston. I did what I would call the fast method, or the cooked method, if you may call it that way. This is an easy way to service a Tiger gen. I remove the plug. I'm now removing the exhaust. So I now took up my screwdriver and drive it through the bottom of the engine block. I'm removing the carbon. So anytime that your generator can start but it's not providing current as it should be, and you felt that you needed service, this is another fast way to service it on your own or as an engineer. So I'm removing the carbon under the block. Once that place is blocked, your Tiger gen cannot serve you well. It will be starting but it cannot produce. So so before you drive the screwdriver in to be true, you now push the piston in like what I just did now, through where the plug normally stay. I push the screwdriver there to push the piston inside, so that when you're inserting the screwdriver underneath, you can pass through and get to the inside of the block to be able to go through and clean the whole carbon. So what I'm doing now is just brushing on top of the piston by pushing the screwdriver inside and be scratching it left and right. So you can see what I'm doing by doing that. So I'm dragging it, and I will now pour this fuel inside the hole which the plug passed through to clean the dirty that I have cleaned. So I'm dragging it now. But mind you, when doing this, to make sure that your generator is off, because sometimes fire will come through the starting coil. The starting coil is a wire that connects to the plug. If sometimes your generator is on, when you are dragging it like this, you can ignite fire on this generator and burn the generator. So sometimes that is where problem lies. You have to be careful and make sure you off it. So now I want to clean the exhaust. So sometimes when your exhaust is blocked, the generator will not be able to power well to carry your fan, your TV or your lights, because of the blockage of the exhaust. So this is how you clean your exhaust.
Okay, now you open so you don't check am.
Okay.
So what is the challenge now?
In line with the work, I wanted to check this Tiger gen also. I have worked it before. The owner just came and I wanted to test it and give it to him.
What is your findings?
So I'm about to start it so that I can tell the owner what I discovered on it. So why I'm bending it is that there is not much fuel on it, so let the carburetor get much fuel. So when there is not much fuel on your tank, you bend it. So it was on choke. I push it to the center, but the generator is offing. So once you start a Tiger Gen, and when you remove it from the choke, it's off, you know that it has problem with carburetor. So I'm now putting it on the center for the choke to run halfway, but it offs. So there was fuel on the tank, but the carburetor will work when it is on choke, but when it's out of choke, it will off. Normally it's supposed to be out of choke. You put it on choke to start it. Then the choke is when it is on the left side. Then when it is at the middle, it's going halfway out of the choke. When it is at the right side, it is out of the choke. That is the running point. So it's supposed to be at the right side of the choke totally. So I'm just bending it toward the side of carburetor to know if it is shortage of fuel, but there was enough fuel and it's not working constantly well or proper. So I'm still testing it to know if it is working well. So the engine block and every other thing is working well, but the carburetor is not in order. So the carburetor needs to be changed so that the generator can run well. So I've been through with the customer. So right now, back to the one I was teaching before. So this is how you service your Tiger exhaust. You drive in object or screwdriver, whatever you can drive in through that hole that you lose, so that you remove every carbon that block the exhaust. So that's how you service your exhaust. You drive in sharp objects, screwdriver, whatever. You can see some dirty coming out from the exhaust. This dirty can block this exhaust, can make, if you start this generator, it will not give you what you want because the dirty in the exhaust has blocked the exhaust, so it cannot work well. So this is how you remove or you service your exhaust. Most cases, exhaust blockage will make your generator not to even start, even in 3,000 or 29 or 1800. If exhaust block, can make engine not to start in most cases. So apart from Tiger Gen. So this is how you clean your exhaust. So that is just it. You make sure any carbon that is inside is removed totally. So you can see amount of carbon that come out from the exhaust to show you that the exhaust was among the problem disturbing the gen. Sometimes you don't need to lose your block, your top, your piston before you can service Tiger Gen. Sometimes it's just exhaust that block that is making it not to work well. So when you start the gen, you see that it can be able to pick or start, then you follow this procedure. But when you start the gen, you discover that the gen cannot start, and you lose the exhaust from the under. You carry the gen up, then you look through the hole that you remove the exhaust. You discover that the carbon has blocked its totally, then you clean it. But if you discover that the gen you are dragging do not have pressure, then you need to lose the piston and the rings and the block and the top and do a thorough general work. You can remove the piston and remove the rings in the piston. So maybe in my subsequent video I will show you how you can do a general service on this Tiger Gen. But for now, this is a method that you can easily use at home to service your Tiger Gen without calling the help of a engineer. So now I'm fixing the exhaust. So look at the way I place my hand. One hand, the thumb hand, will be holding the root of the exhaust to press it so that the exhaust gasket will not fall out. But in this one, the exhaust gasket has glued, it has magneted or glued with the exhaust because it has been there working before. So most of the times when the exhaust gasket have worked long time with the exhaust, it will not magnet. But if you are not putting a new one, maybe the exhaust gasket is not good, you have to also place your hand the way I'm placing it before you can be able to tighten it and get it well. Otherwise, when you tighten it, it will still be making some sharp noise to show you that the gasket is leaking or the exhaust is not placed well. So you place your hand the way I did it, and after that you now put the other bolt that hold the armature cover. So this is how you clean your plug. I'm using cutter. Everybody knows what is cutter. You can use a sharp object. You can use all these machine wire to clean your plug. But here I prefer to use this cutter, brush it. Then when clean it, you drive the cutter into the gap between the ending of the plug so that the dirty that is, I'm now using this wire also, I drive it into the hole that is in the plug. So I use fuel. Some people say that fuel normally key plug, but I don't see it as something that keys plug. Just put quantities of fuel to remove the dirty that you brush out from the plug. Do you see as I'm putting this cutter at the little gap there, that sparking point? So anyhow you do it, sometimes some people cover that sparking point. That little gap at the ending of this plug need to be open but not too wide so that I can contact spark. Just pass just the size of that cutter. Once you'll be able to put the cutter to pass on that little gap, and you brush it so that the contact of spark can be there. So I put this is what I call block coolant. So this rubber there that you place there, the air that is coming from the starter will now pass through that rubber to cool the block. So it's important that your Tiger Gen should have it. So now I've done that. I'm putting fuel on the carburetor. So the gen have started. So this is how you can do a fast service at home, at your workplace. So light has come. So that is it for this Tiger Gen. This is the light. So with this one now, the things you cannot carry at home before, it will not carry it. Mind you, Tiger Gen does not carry fridge, so it can carry TV, fan and lights. So I'm not pressing the tank back. So I'm now putting the rubber that comes from the carburetor to the fuel tap. I've done that. So let me tighten the tank. So first of all, you guide the whole boat. You don't just put one bolt and tighten it strong. You first guide all the whole bolt that you lose. If you lose 3 bolts, you guide 3 bolts. If you lose the 4 bolts, you guide the 4 bolts. So when you're working, you should get a cup and put the whole bolt that you are screwing out. You don't screw 3 bolts and guide only 2, or you don't screw 4 bolts and guide only 3. So it's part of it. How many bolts that you lose is what you tighten back. So first of all, you guide your bolt before you begin to tighten it complete. If you tight one straight, the other ones will not fit in. So that is the reason why you see me guiding them. So the bolt that I tight there did not get to the end of the drill, so I have to change it. So I needed a longer bolt there, so I have to change it. So that is it. So this one have been guided, the other one has one, so I tightened only one. So I'm tightening this one now. So I've done the tightening of the bolt. So the journey have started. That's for this. So this is how you can do a fast service of Tiger Gen at the comfort of your home. So that is for this. This is a done deal. Okay. I'm using fuel to clean my hand, so it's just a minor thing you can do to look good and neat on the job. So back to the gen that came at the middle. Let me change the carburetor since it's not working well. The generator is starting, but the shooting is shooting and jerking, so it's a problem of carburetor. When you remove it from choke, it cannot run again, but when it is on choke, it will be running. So that is how you know that it is the fault of the carburetor. So in changing your carburetor, you remove the cover on the dashboard. Yes, you have removed the 2 bolts holding the carburetor, so the carburetor is now free hanging. So I'm removing the rubber that flow from the carburetor to the fuel tap. So I need to put new carburetor. I'm looking for Tiger Gen carburetor. I have a different carburetor there. That was the carburetor of 1800. So mind you, the carburetor that I removed from every gen must be replaced with the same type of carburetor. So 1800 cannot function on Tiger Gen. So I was careful not to put the wrong one there so that it can give me what I want. So finally, I've gotten its own carburetor. So I first check the gaskets of the carburetor. So I decided that I should remove the previous gasket that is in the Tiger Gen so that the new one can be able to lap well, so that in case if it was a gasket problem maybe disturbing it, that the new one will not experience the same thing. Sometimes if there's a leakage in gasket, it can make a generator to be troubleshooting that it will not be, you know, working properly. So I decided to remove the previous gasket on it because I don't know if it is the one that has the problem, because it has stuck on the body already. So I decided in case if there is any hole or any little crack there that will disturb the new one, let it not affect it. So that is the reason why I'm removing it. So the gasket is already stuck or dried on it, so I'm scratching it to remove it. So that is just it. So I'm using cutter to scratch out the gasket. To make sure there is no drop. In doing this, you have to be thorough on it, because if there is a little drop or an inch of the gasket on the body of the gen, it can also make it to malfunction, because that little gap there will make breeze to pass from outside and enter the carburetor, so that it will not make it not to work well. So you need to scratch off all traces of old gasket on the body, so that the new one will lie down flat, nothing will lift it or make it not to lap. So that is just the essence of make sure you scratch off every trace of the old gasket on the body of the gen where you want to fix the new carburetor. So I want to test this carburetor because I noticed a little rust on the body. So I want to make sure that it's working well. I lose the button and now pour fuel on the hose to make sure that it's flowing well, so that let me not just put it like that and it's not flowing well. Mind you, this is a new carburetor, but I just saw a little rust on it. That is why I'm testing all this. If it's a very bright and shining or new the way I want it, I wouldn't have gone all this way. But I'm just doing this to make sure that the little rust I saw on the body do not mean that the carburetor is well as or is bad. So that's why I'm just I'm doing the gauging. I'm gauging the fuel inside the carburetor to make sure that the carburetor is gauging well. In this aspect, I'm not doing thorough service of carburetor. When I will do a teaching on thorough service on Tiger carburetor, I will expatiate on that. But for this one, I just want to know if fuel is flowing on the carburetor. I'm just gauging it. This is how you gauge your carburetor. So you can see the gauge of this fuel. I didn't take time to teach you, but I just want to make sure the fuel is flowing. So the fuel is flowing. So I'm covering the carburetor. Okay, this is how you can gauge your fuel. I'm losing the outlet where you can remove water that enter your tank and enter the carburetor. So that's little screw there under the carburetor, closer to the beneath. You can from there remove water that enters your carburetor, your tank. So I'm just gauging it as well again. I just want to know if you are not more seeing the carburetor. I didn't know that it went off the camera. I'm just tightening the nut where water can be removed from the carburetor. So I'm not tightening the underneath where I used to gauge the fuel. So I've tightened where you used to remove the water that get to the carburetor. So sticky. I'm testing here if the carburetor is leaking from where you normally test or remove bad water that enter your carburetor. So the place I've tightened it where water is not coming out. Fuel is not coming out from it. So watch it. That spring that normally enter the carburetor, I'm putting it in now. Although the video is far from it, but once you get to that point, you will see that spring. The spring, the way you put it is you put it from the up of the carburetor, not under. Then it is one spring and one iron. The iron will enter up. The spring you can put it from under. So look how the way I'm holding the carburetor. I also place the gasket. You saw when I put the gasket. So I use my left hand to hold the generator board and the carburetor and push the two both into the engine body and guide it with my hand. Although I did it as a professional, but when you start doing it, you can easily still learn it. There is not much way I can explain or teach you more than what I'm doing now, but when you study it more, you can be able to do it the way I'm doing it now. At least they say practice makes perfect. It is one stage to the other. When I was learning, it didn't come so fast or so easily to me. At the nick of time, I was able to perfect it. So it's trying continuous. So what I'm doing now, I am hitting the carburetor so that the choke will be able to cover very well. And remember I said I can choke it towards left hand side. So when I choke it towards left hand side, the inside of the carburetor did not cover well, and I use my screwdriver, the flat mouth, and hit the mat where the choke supposed to cover where I hit it. So one of these days I will still show you what I did there more than what I'm explaining now on my video. So you may not be able to see it well, but what I just did, or you can zoom the video if you are watching it. When you get to that point, you pause it and zoom it to see where I hit. I covered it well. So. Hi, once again, it's your boy, your guy, your friend, Organic. I want you to follow my videos on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and any social media that is just happening. I'm always there. I want you to like my video and share it and subscribe to it. In so doing, you'll be encouraging me to make more videos for you. This is one of my gadgets that I'm using to do outdoor work. The one I'm using to hang this camera is up here. So one of these I'm going to show you how it is to make up. Once again, it's your boy, your guy, Organic. Stay tuned to my channel.